Hey everybody, welcome to yet another replay. I do actually have internet now, but I don't have XVM working because the XVM login authentication is not currently functional for some reason. So here we have a match with Axetrain, about to show us how fun the T49 can be, and also at the same time why you should never ever let one of these little things behind you. Tier 9 match on El Baloof, however only one tier 9 on each team. So it's not too bad of a matchup, there's not too much heavy armor here. Well, what heavy armor there is pretty easy to flank. The JT, the T28 and the T28 Proto are not exactly mobile. Axetrain takes a risky shortcut here, but is able to get away with it. Spots a couple tanks in the process. He pre-aims the corner. Pretty sound logic, the enemy will usually come through there showing their sides. And this thing, if it hits something in the side, is going to give it a very bad time. Sure enough, he gets a side shot and Wheezy on 11. It's not a massive hit, 297, but it's certainly going to leave a mark. It's worth noting that Axetrain is firing the regular HE here with 76 pen, not the gold pen with 85. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but there is the difference. The 1390 starts threatening to push him, but obviously thinks twice when he realizes what gun he's up against. Centurion comes up to give Axetrain a hand with this guy, and at the same time the enemy top tier Wheezy 11 goes down, which is going to be a huge benefit to Axetrain's team. Fortunately at the moment RNG is not being very kind to him. But the position he's in allows him to retreat back down and reload quite safely. So if you're going to be making shots like this in the T49, you need some exit plan, either a place you can back up to reload, or somewhere you can run. In this case though, his gun hits the AMX and absolutely obliterates it. South is looking pretty shaky, the enemy team are beginning to push it, and Axetrain's team are almost entirely at north, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The north is usually where this map is decided. They can't afford to give away half the map though, and so Axetrain is going to have to hurry up and clean these guys up and then go try and rescue the south. Takes time with his aim, pays off. This is where the T49 really comes into its own, when it's able to get around enemy tanks and sit behind them, because 76 pen is usually enough to pen something in the back, even with an HE round. And when you pen something in the back with this, you're going to do a lot of damage. Usually. At the very least, you're going to probably light a fire. Personally, I'd recommend using the higher pen HE round, the gold HE round. Just that little bit extra can sometimes make a big difference. But in any case, you still will need to get behind people to really have any effect. Quite often with a gun this powerful, even a failed non-penetrating hit with HE will end up doing about 300, 350 odd damage, which is pretty good. Most tanks won't want to be hit by that. But the thing is, you do have quite a long reload after that, and you have bad gun handling, so you can't really just pretend you're a pattern or something, because you'd be doing the same damage. It doesn't quite work that way. But even if you can't pen something, you can put out a rather sizable amount of damage on it just to help your teammates out. And of course, you are that much more likely to get the modules because the giant HE shell. Sorry about the choppy replay. This was actually the first replay from 9.4 I watched. It was also the first time I noticed that there was a replay bug in 9.4. Poor T28 Proto never really stood a chance. And it's clean-up time. So with a little sneaky flanking and quite a lot of shooting people in the back, Axetrain has managed to light 2 different people on fire and get himself 3,800 damage across 3 kills. But he's not done yet. He easily overtakes the Centurion, allowing him to get in here first and engage these guys before his teammates can.
Target acquired.
This VK's about to have a very bad day. Axetrain stops to type for a moment. But even though the Centurion's caught up, Axetrain can quite easily pull ahead of him again and ensure he is the one that gets the last guy. But oh no, his track aided. So it is actually the Centurion that gets the last kill. But with 4,500 damage in a light tank and 4 kills, I don't really think there's much to complain about. Good solid game, good demonstration of what the T49 is capable of, and a really good lesson in why you have to be careful about letting light tanks get behind you. While not all of them have as big of a gun as the T49, most light tanks, if you give them the chance, will be able to lay out a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. So, although you shouldn't risk your tank to stop a light tank getting through, you really should make sure that if it does get through and it does end up in your backfield, it's somewhere where it can be mitigated. Somewhere where it's not going to have good shots, or it's going to have to expose itself and get killed if it wants to take them. Because if this little guy gets anywhere near you, and you aren't paying attention, you're out of the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Something a little different, and a much better demonstration of the T49 than I was able to get on test, oddly enough. I've got a couple more replays I want to do, probably about 5 or 6, I want to say. And then I'm going to be updating my game to 9.5, and then we'll maybe have some 9.5 videos, probably mostly of the new British tank destroyers, and maybe a couple of other things, and the T55 if/when I get it. Other than that, probably going to slow down with the tanks videos a bit, because basically I'm getting to the point where I'm just rehashing the same sort of stuff over and over. Arguably I've been at that point for at least a year now, but probably slow down with the tanks and start putting up videos of other stuff. I've got naval combat up and going now, which I am hopelessly inept at. So there's that. Actually, I say I'm hopelessly inept. I very nearly sunk Fly Daily earlier, but his teammate managed to save him at the last second. It was a very good match. And as well as that, I got Elite Dangerous, which I haven't got around to installing yet, and I need to really get a new joystick before I can play it. But at some point I'd like to make some videos of that, maybe. What else have I got? A whole bunch of shit. And once the NDA lifts for that, which shall not be named, I will be putting out a lot of stuff in that, particularly my favourite class of things that cannot be named, because you can do things that I can't tell you about in them. You'll get to see when it comes out, don't worry. Until then, we'll do a couple more tanks videos, and then we'll see how we go with other games. Oh, and also I need to get some more Space Engineers up. Oh, how could I forget? I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll see you on the next one.